Good morning to you, Dr. Godwin. Okay, good morning, Dr. Godwin.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Health Revolution this morning. How are you today?
I'm doing very fine, and you?
Okay, I'm very okay. Oh, I'm good, as you can hear from my voice this morning. How is Joss? Hope Joss is
Mm.
peaceful.
Yes, just is peaceful. Actually, just is cool. The weather is at least cool and all, and I believe security measures are in place. The governor is really trying, so we are enjoying some form of peace at the moment,
That is
and we
good to
hope it
know.
continues.
I hope it
Mm.
continues, though, because for people like us
Yes.
in this part of Nigeria, almost on daily basis, we get to hear of killings in Benue, killings in Plateau, and someone told me, "You see, Joss, I don't cancel them for my map. I know they go there." So what you're trying to tell me now is that everything has returned to normal.
Yes, everything has returned to normal, and then the governor is really trying. We just
Okay.
hope that the measures that he's putting in place would continue.
Okay, I
Mm.
hope so too, and I wish you
Mm.
and the Plateau people the best going forward. Dr. Godrein Vonkor is a veterinary officer from the Ministry of Livestock Development, Veterinary Services and Fisheries, located here, right there in Jos, Plateau State. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we know that a few days ago it was the World Rabies Day. Unfortunately, we couldn't talk about that particular topic, so we'll be doing justice to rabies today. And yes, we shall be creating more awareness on dog bites prevention and what to do if bitten by a dog. And then, secondly, is it only dogs that transmit rabies? We'll get to find out today. And then we'll be sharing some important tips that will help not just children, even adults, understand how to behave when they find themselves around dogs. And then, what steps can be taken immediately after a dog bite exposure. These things are very, very important. Don't say, "Oh, it doesn't concern me. I don't have a pet." You don't have a pet, but definitely you would come across pets. You will come across houses that own pets. How are you going to behave when you find yourselves in the midst of such houses? I want to recall a scenario. One day I was on my way. I think I traveled to the village. And then I saw this dog. What we call it here is a cookie. I don't know what you people call. What do you call local dogs in your area, Dr. Godwin?
Yeah, we either call them mongrels. Well, based on as a vet, we call them mongrels, or we say NIBD. That's Nigerian Indigenous Breed of Dog.
Ah, you are even giving it a very polished name. I mean, like in the dialect, do you have a
Oh,
local name?
we call them a cookie as well.
A cookie, hey, you see now. So a cookie in Jos, a cookie in the east. Okay, and then I
Yes.
was going along that path, and I saw this a cookie dog, and people chasing the dog actually with sticks. And I'm like, what's going
Wow.
on? This dog could turn back and attack you. They said, no, it has rabies. We have to kill it. If we do not kill it,
Wow.
it will go on to keep spreading and biting and killing people. I say,
Hmm.
okay. And then someone made a very, very funny statement and said, if we do not kill it, it will run mad. I say
Hmm.
run mad, I say yes. Because it has
Wow.
rabies. That would be the
Hmm.
very first time in my life I would hear of rabies, not to talk of a dog running mad because it has rabies.
Rabies.
So these are the things we'll be looking at. But before we go ahead, according to the rabies data in the Global Health Observatory, it is said that rabies is estimated to cause 59,000 human deaths annually in over 150 countries, and also with 95% of cases occurring mostly in Africa and Asia. So indirectly, we have a higher number of rabies cases in Africa,
Exactly.
in Nigeria. So you're going to help us understand that. But before then, how do we define rabies? Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Rabies basically is a viral infection, and it is a zoonotic disease, which simply means that it can be transmitted from animals to humans, from a non-human vertebrate to humans. Those are classes of zoonosis. We have other zoonotic diseases like tuberculosis, anthrax, and all whatnot. But then rabies is quite deadly, as you have rightly stated. There are about 59,000 deaths annually, and mostly occurring in Asia and Africa. And in fact, because of the the data collection. We are not so consistent with our data collection. This is actually not. This is just an estimated number. But if we are to be strict with data collection, it's actually way more than this. It's way more than this. So rabies is a zoonotic disease, a very deadly one, and basically they are found in animals like dogs, bats, cats, and then other wild animals like raccoons, yeah, that live in the wild, yes. And then we have 99% of most of the rabies cases occurring from dogs.
From
Yeah.
dogs. I was
Yes,
surprised
from
when I
dogs.
heard you say cats. So even cats can carry the virus.
Oh yes, oh yes, cats can
Oh,
carry the virus as well. Yes, they
wow.
come down equally with rabies, and then they get to transmit these viruses. Basically, these animals are companion animals, and that is why there is a higher risk to getting rabies from these animals.
Okay.
Yes,
So if someone
yes.
has a dog and a cat at the same time, there could be greater chances, that one of them could come down with rabies.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Wow.
There's a greater chance that they could come down with rabies if not vaccinated or not properly vaccinated.
Oh, they vaccinate animals too.
Oh yes. I will talk
Okay.
about that.
Okay, we'll
Yes.
talk about
So
vaccination, okay? I
mm,
want to find out, is it usually very fatal, or is something that you can just, oh, okay, it's just a dog bite, it will heal on its own?
and rabies is deadly. In fact, it is very fatal with 100% mortality once clinical signs have shown. Yes. So when a particular individual gets bitten by a dog, and then by a rabid dog, onset once the onset of clinical signs begin to show, there is nothing that can be done. You are most surely it's most surely approved that that person would eventually die with time.
Wow. So even if urgent measures are taken.
Yes. Now, when urgent measures are being taken, there is a high chance of curbing that particular condition. But
Okay.
when the signs begin now, because there is what we call an incubation period, that is the time from when a virus or a disease agent gets into the body system, and the time when the symptoms begin to show. So it's like that period is the moment where this infectious agent begins to replicate within the body system before it begins to attack various organs, and then the clinical signs begins to show. So if the condition is being treated immediately after exposure, then there is 100% chance of survival. But when the clinical signs begin to show, then it's most surely approved that you'd have 100% chance of mortality.
Wow, wow. Okay, we'll get there. I'm trying to really understand this whole, process, the incubation and all that. We'll talk more about the phases. But there's something that comes to mind. Anytime anybody hears rabies, they just tag it, oh, he was bitten by a dog. Now you've also confirmed that there are other animals that can also bear the virus. So what comes to mind is an animal bite. Now, I'm
Mm.
also concerned. Most times you go close to a dog, especially pet dogs, and they come all around you. They are licking your legs, licking your faces, doing one or two things just to maybe get familiar with you. Can that also be transmitted through licking? I don't know how best to describe this, but I know you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Actually, it can be transferred through leaking. It
Yeah?
can be transferred through leaking. Yes. Yes, it can. Now, when somebody has probably an uncovered a wound or a wound surface and all, and then the animal comes to lick that particular person's body, it transmits the virus. Now, based on the pathogenesis of the virus in the system, how the virus replicates and moves around the body, the virus tends to invade the salivary glands. And so
Okay.
in the salivary gland, it replicates. It simply means that through saliva, this particular virus will be shed. So as it is being shared through saliva, and then this animal comes licking that particular person's body, if the skin is uncovered or there is a wound around that particular region, then it is certain that that person will definitely get infected with rabies.
Okay, so
Yes.
the rabies virus is transmitted via the saliva that gets
Yes.
into an open wound. And then
Yes.
when it gets into the open wound, what happens afterwards? How does it invade the body? That's something that I've been trying to understand.
Yes. Okay. Now, when the virus gets into the body system, the first thing it begins to do is that at that particular point, it begins to replicate at the
Oh.
localized area. It begins to replicate and then begins to move via the nerves. It begins to invade the nerves, the nervous system around that particular region, and then it travels through that body, through that nerves, travels to the brain. Now, the target of that particular virus is to, first of all, invade the central nervous system, which is
Mm.
the brain and then the spinal cord. So
Okay.
that particular virus replicates at the site of bite and then begins to travel through that nerve. It
Mm.
travels down to the central nervous system, that is the brain. Once it has gotten to the brain, then we begin to see signs of aggression, convulsion, and all whatnot. That's what translates to the clinical signs, which is now basically being seen manifested.
Okay, okay. So I believe we can now talk about the phases because this is very, very important. I know you mentioned the incubation stage. So when a person is bitten by any of the animals, that is infected by rabies, what happens? What's the phase? What are those phases we should know about?
Okay. Yeah. First of all, after the virus is being introduced into the body system at that point of bite,
Mm-hmm.
then the virus begins to replicate. That's more like the replication phase. It begins to replicate at that particular site of bite. Now, at that particular point in time, that individual may begin to feel a sense of tingling or like a needle prick or a burning sensation localized around that point where the person is being beaten.
Mm.
And so once it replicates, now it begins to move along the nervous system. It moves along the nerves. So it travels through the nervous system and then goes to the brain where it invades the brain. Afterwards, it then invades the lymphatic system, it invades the lymph nodes, it invades the immune system. Because most times when diseases get into the body system, the first thing they do is that they try as much as possible to invade the immune system, to suppress the immune system of
Mm.
that particular individual. Now, once it begins to suppress the immune system of that individual, we would begin to see some other signs like flu.
Okay.
The person begins to have signs similar to flu and then some other gastrointestinal signs and all whatnot. So it invades the immune system, suppresses it, and then it now invades the salivary glands where it also further replicates and then is being transmitted via the saliva.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
just these are the stages or the phases in which this particular virus moves.
Okay. And then that incubation stage.
Yes.
How many days? How will I put this now? I know that anything that has to do with incubation simply means that the virus is in the body or it's there, but it's not even
Yes.
showing any sign at all. So people might not even know that they have it, especially after being bitten by an animal. So what I want to ask is, what's the duration for that incubation stage before it now progresses and starts to show some symptoms?
Right. Okay. Basically, it ranges from around 2 weeks to 3 months,
Hmm.
but there are different school of thoughts because there have been cases whereby a person gets bitten or infected by a rabies virus, and then clinical signs don't show until about a year or two later.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So we can now say that the incubation period lasted for that long, probably up to a year or two
Mm-hmm.
years. Now, this is actually depending on the viral load. It is
Okay.
what we call the viral load,
Mm.
such that when a particular animal bites an individual, the amount of viral agents present in the saliva at that point in time is known as the viral load.
Okay.
Also, the second thing that affects the incubation period is the location of bites, because we said that the aim of the virus is to invade the central nervous system, that is the brain and the spinal cord.
Yeah.
So if an individual gets bitten around maybe the leg, by any dog, do not take chances. Even if there are no signs, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month or two later, even up to a year, it is expedient that you seek medical attention
Immediately.
immediately.
Okay, this is very, very interesting, and I'm really learning a lot. I know you're doing the same. We are live on Facebook at Echo FM, ECHOFM. Dr. Godrain, you can tell your people around you to go live on Facebook and see your. You need to see Dr. Godrain's picture. Ha! Now, wow. Okay. Look out for. And then for other people as well who have pets, they don't care. They don't even know that from time to time, like Dr. Godrain mentioned, those pets should be vaccinated. We are in Nigeria, so anything goes. Okay, 0911 20,022, 0911 20,022, or you call 0707 454 1014, 0707 454 1014. And if you're unable to connect, go to Facebook, drop your comments. I'll be here to read it out as fast as possible. Also, send us a WhatsApp message on 0707 491. Good morning to you. All right, unfortunately, we lost that call. Network hitches, but try to call back. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sister. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Good morning. How are you?
Okay, I'm Friday from now. I'm fine.
Okay, Friday, please turn down the volume on your radio set. Then go ahead, please.
Yes, I already done that.
Go ahead.
I want to ask the doctor a question. You know, nowadays some of our ladies have started misbehaving with dogs.
Oh.
And I want to know if it's also a sexual, if it can be transferred to sex. Do you understand?
I get you.
Now, somebody that has a dog bite, that maybe the disease has already entered him. What about the person that did not have the dog? Maybe has somehow related with the person that has the disease. You understand?
Okay.
So I want to know if it can be transferred through sex also, or is it just by touching body or whatever?
Okay.
That's number one.
The second
Second
question.
one is, why is it that someone that was bitten by dog died quick before the dog?
Okay.
Does it mean that there is what the dog has in his body that serves him more than human being?
This is a valid question. Thank you so much, Friday from Naze. Dr. Godrain, get ready. You have lots and lots of questions to attend to, but let's squeeze in this one. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm Oluchi calling from Abu.
Okay, Oluchi, go ahead, please.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say that I program, although this is my first time calling, but I do listen to your program.
Where have you been? Thank you. Thank you for listening, okay?
I want to commend the doctor for doing to this topic.
Okay.
Actually, I myself, I'm also a doctor. So I just want to say one or two things because I can. Hello.
Oh, Oluchi, your line is really bad, though. I'm so sorry. Your line is cracking up and I can barely hear you. Please, if you can, send me a WhatsApp message, okay? 0707 491 3438, and I'll read it out as fast as I can. Thank you so much. Let's see if this is going to connect. Good morning to you.
Hello,
Hello. Good morning.
a very beautiful and most adorable Slim Diva.
Hello. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
A very morning to you. My name is Jack. My question is very simple.
Okay.
If a rabid dog gets pregnant, or a rabid dog impregnates another dog, will the puppies be rabid at the end of the day? That's my question. Thank you.
Valid. Thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Godwin, we are going to take it one at a time. The very
Okay.
first question, which I feel is very, very important, it has to do with bestiality. For ladies who go around doing that thing with dogs, can it be transferred through sexual intercourse? That's number one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Basically, there have been no there are no postulates to prove that rabies virus can be actually transferred via sexual intercourse.
Okay.
Yes, there have been no, yes, and that is also because once an animal is down with rabies, it dies within 10 to 14 days.
10 to 14 days.
Yes, it dies within 10 to 14 days. That is the duration upon onset of clinical signs. Once the symptoms have shown, it dies from 10 to 14 days. And then based on the manifestation of the signs, there are basically two forms, the dumb form and then the furious form. Now, based on the manifestation of this particular clinical signs, that animal may not be able to be restrained. They may not be able to restrain that animal properly to carry out any form of activity because it has affected the central nervous system. So coordination is zero.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's why it dies, you know. Okay.
Yes.
So and he also said why is it that a person beaten by a dog dies before the dog?
Okay. The person doesn't die before the dog. Yes, the person doesn't die before the dog. If one follows that particular that particular trend, you discover that now once the individual comes down with rabies, before that individual comes down with rabies, the dog has already been infected, and then the clinical signs have already shown, and that is the reason why that particular animal goes ahead to bite the individual. So the symptoms have already shown in the animal before the incubation phase begins to start.
Okay.
Once the virus is introduced into the human's body. So the dog actually dies before the individual. There have been cases whereby certain persons have been bitten by a rabid dog, and then while that particular person begins to receive treatment, that dog is kept under lock and key and observed.
Okay.
So once that particular dog dies within 10 to 14 days, it may be before that particular time. It doesn't necessarily mean that it must be 10 within, it must be
days.
At the 10th day or at the 14th day.
Yeah.
But it dies within 10 to 14 days. So that animal died before that particular individual.
Wow. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Friday. And Jack wants to know if a rabid dog gets pregnant or impregnates another dog, will the puppies also have the rabies virus? Very important question.
Okay. Now, the thing is, when a pregnant dog gets infected with rabies, like I said, the time frame is not usually long. Okay. So there is usually, first and foremost, there is usually a barrier that ensures that there is no exchange between the fetus and then the mother dog. Yes, there's the mother dog. Okay. There is a barrier. And so if that particular animal is already close to term, we can be sure that that particular those puppies will not be infected by it. But then once that particular animal is already infected with rabies, it simply means that clinical signs have shown.
Okay.
And in most cases, those particular puppies may not survive it.
Oh.
Because the clinical signs have shown already.
Already. It's
Yes.
no longer in the incubation stage.
It is no longer in the incubation stage.
Okay.
That is when we can confirm that this particular animal has been infected with rabies. So in most times based on research, there are no proofs to really show that a rabid dog has been infected with rabies and then carries that particular baby to term, because the gestation period for dogs is 2 months.
Okay.
Yes, and then this animal will die within 10 to 14 days. So it does not even get the chance.
It will not get to even a month, not to talk of carrying it to term.
Yes.
Okay, that answers the question. The phone lines are really beeping. 0911 20,022, 0707 454 1014. The topic for today is rabies. And we've learned a lot. Dr. Godwin has said it's not only dogs that transmit rabies. And there are so many modes of transmission. So don't think it's only when you're bitten by a dog. You can also contract the virus. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please. It seems more like you are close to a vehicle or you are in a vehicle. I can barely hear you.
Okay.
What's your name?
Okay, my name is Oluchi from Mabo. I called back.
Quickly, please.
Hello, I wanted to say, as in, one of the things that can really help is vaccination, because there was about a woman, they have dogs in their family. So her husband gave her money to vaccinate the kids. But unfortunately, maybe she thought it was a joke. It was not serious. So she used the money and did another thing. And the woman also has small children in the house.
Oh.
So she didn't know that the dog went and bit one of her children. From there, and now transmitted that rabies virus to the child. By the time they could find out for any intervention to take place, when they go to the hospital, they now say that the child died of rabies.
Oh my
and it
God.
so happened that the husband now found out that the woman used the money that he gave to her to vaccinate the puppy. That was how the woman's
child died.
Died.
Okay. Thank
and
you.
The veterinary doctor, that was what I called to just this thing. So people know that vaccinating dogs is really important against rabies virus. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, this is really, really an important point. Oluchi is also your colleague, Dr. Godwin. She's a veterinary doctor as well, and she has called in to say vaccination is important. She told a story, I don't want to go there because some women can be funny, of how a husband to a lady gave her money and said, go and vaccinate my dog. And then she used the money for her personal, use. And then, unfortunately, one day, the same dog beat their last child. They didn't even know because the child couldn't talk and he kept it to himself. And all of a sudden, symptoms came up and the child died. It was when they got to the hospital, they found out that that child had rabies. It's quite an unfortunate one, but we'll talk a little bit about vaccination. Let's squeeze in more calls. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Please move away from your radio. What's your name?
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Your name and location, please.
This is Philip. I'm calling from here.
Go ahead quickly, Chidinma.
Please, I want to ask this rabies thing. Those things that normally come out from dog's body and whatever. Like, does it have anything to do with the rabies also? Like you killing it, or children that maybe you are taking care of a dog, maybe killing the abbey or whatever.
You mean those insects, ticks that you see on dogs?
Yes. Does it have any impact?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that important question. Dr. Godwin, can rabies be transmitted via ticks? Those little insects you see on dogs, on their bodies.
Okay. Rabies cannot be transmitted via tick bite.
Okay.
Yes, it cannot be transmitted via tick bites.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Chidima, I hope you heard that. Hello. Oh my goodness. Good morning to you.
My name is Ifani. I'm calling from Relief Market.
Okay, Ifani, how far now? You're already making money this morning.
I'm not making money. Market is very dull.
Don't worry, money will come. It's just 11:35. Before 4 p.m., you'll be amazed. I know, Igbo people are money. Okay, go ahead, please.
So, I want to ask a question, but the question might be funny, Sha.
Go ahead, they're all the same.
Because I have an incident last week. Goats went and bite one of our neighbors' children. So
Goats?
Our neighbors side, yeah, goats.
Ah.
So I don't know. Goats, they get virus.
Hey, goat squad. This is the
but-
first time I would hear that a goat is biting someone.
It used to bite too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Is there any this thing that somebody can do to maybe as dog go and a person could die? So I don't know. I said let me call. Thank God for this topic that just got.
All right. Thank you for that's your curiosity is valid, Dr. Godrain. Goats.
Yeah.
I've never heard of someone beaten by a goat before, and he says that his neighbor's child was beaten by a goat, and he's worried now hearing about rabies. Is there also a chance that rabies can be transmitted through a goat as well?
Yes, rabies can be transmitted via goats and sheep.
Wow.
They can come down with rabies, and then you begin to observe similar signs as you would find in that of dogs.
Wow.
You begin to see signs of aggression and all whatnot, drooling saliva and all.
In the child now?
Yeah, on the goat rather.
Okay.
Yes.
So what would you advise? What would you advise, please?
Yeah, so I'll advise that particular child visits or be taken rather to a healthcare
provider
outlet, and then the child should be treated properly. Yes, if possible, that child should be vaccinated because you cannot take chances. Now, if that person still has access to that particular goat, the goat should be observed. As well. The goat should be observed if there are clinical signs.
Okay.
If there are clinical signs relating to rabies.
Wow. Okay, Ifeanyi, please, as fast as you can, the moment you get to the house, tell the parents of that child to take him or her to the hospital. It is very, very necessary. So they would observe the goat as well to know if that goat has been infected. Good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. What's your name?
I'm Ozioma calling from Irete.
Ozioma, I can hear my voice at the same time at the background. Do me a favor, move away from the radio sets.
Okay, I've moved from there.
Go ahead quickly.
Okay, please, I want to find out if these rabies, the dogs are being born naturally with rabies.
Okay, all right. He will respond. Thank you so much. Let me squeeze in this one and then he will take it all at once. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Diva.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, our guest, good morning.
He can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Someone that calls from which is Owerri.
Okay.
The question is to him is that is there any window period between the time a dog or any other animal is infected with rabies and the time of manifestation of the signs of rabies by the animal? And if you discover that your pet animal or dog or whatever animal has rabies or is red boy, what exactly should that person do first of all? Thank you. Amma from Uche Street.
Thank you, Amma. So I'm going to ask these questions quickly, Dr. Godrain, so we can go back to the conversation. Ozioma is asking if actually dogs can be born with rabies.
Dogs cannot be born with rabies.
Okay.
They would actually it has to be transmitted via a bite.
Okay.
Yes, in most cases via a bite.
All right. And then Amar is also asking what should someone who has been bitten by a rabid dog, what is the first thing to be done? I know we are still going to touch on that, but maybe you can comment briefly.
Okay. The first thing to do is immediately after that bite, that particular wound or that site of injury should be washed thoroughly with soap and water for 15 minutes.
15
Nothing
minutes.
less than 15 minutes.
Why 15 minutes, please?
Yes, it is so that by the process of washing, the viral load, I talked about viral load, from the beginning. So that particular viral load can be reduced or completely eliminated via the washing process. So we are trying to avoid that particular virus from further invading that particular site and getting to the nerves.
Okay.
Yes, so we advise
Okay.
you wash for 15 minutes so that it has to be thorough.
Wow. And it has to be
Yeah.
running water. It's not you just get one sachet water and you pour on the place
Water
and say, I
no,
don't
it
wash
has to
them.
be under running water.
Under
So it has to
running
be-
water. Okay. So
Yeah.
please, I know that Alma asked about the window period, but you talked about incubation and all that. But I want us to go straight up to talk about symptoms as fast as we can in humans now.
Okay. First and foremost, I mentioned earlier that when an individual gets bitten by a dog, that person will begin to observe tingling sensations around the site of injury almost immediately. Yes, begin to experience, that form of feeling or a burning sensation around that particular region. Then going from there, from when the when the symptoms begin to show, that's the incubation rather. After the incubation period is when the symptoms will begin to show. So we begin to observe signs like flu-like signs. That person may begin to have running nose, begin to have sore throats, begin to have headaches, begin to have muscle pain, and in some cases would also have gastrointestinal signs, whereby that person will be having diarrhea cases. Yes. So these are the first set of signs. It then further progresses as this particular virus journeys to the central nervous system. We said earlier that the aim of this particular virus is to get to the brain. So once it gets to the brain, it disrupts the whole thinking pattern of that individual.
Okay.
And then we'll begin to observe signs of confusion, signs of hyper excitability. The person gets excited easily. We begin to also see signs of vocalizations. The person will begin to make some signs. Some people tag it to be barking, a form of a barking sound as such. Yeah. Now it is not as if that some people say there's a myth that says that person gets invaded by a dog spirit. Also, it is not a dog spirit. Yeah. What actually happens is that this particular virus causes paralysis. So it paralyzes the muscles around the neck region. And so the person begins to experience difficulty in swallowing. And so as that person experiences difficulty in swallowing, the person becomes scared of water also. Yes, the person experiences what we call hydrophobia and even aerophobia. That's the person becomes scared of air. The person becomes scared of light. So once people begin to approach that particular individual, the person gets scared, as though having a feeling as though that person wants to probably feed him or her, or maybe give him or her water. And so the person begins to make some kind of awful sounds, which is presumed to be a kind of
barking sound.
A barking sound.
I've come across someone when I was in the higher institution years ago. This particular young man, I don't know how to describe this, but I was amazed. That's the very first time I will see someone in my life barking like a dog. In all honesty, this is not what someone told me. I witnessed it. Now, you would always hear him after like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you hear that barking sound.
Exactly.
It keeps happening, and from what I gathered, he would live with that condition for the rest of his life. Is that true?
Yeah, exactly. He would live with it until death. Because once it has gotten to that point, death is inevitable.
Oh my.
Yes, until death. Because gradually the person slips into coma and then death. So these particular signs are characterized into two. There is the dumb form and then there is the furious form. Yes, so even animals too may possess similar kind of signs, the dumb form and then the furious form. So the fact that a particular dog is not aggressive does not necessarily mean it doesn't have rabies. It may simply just have the dumb form of rabies.
Okay.
So it would stay quiet.
Okay. So the best thing would be vaccination, right?
Vaccination.
So how is it done? Quickly.
Okay. So for animals like dogs and cats, they ought to be vaccinated at about 3 months of age. So once your dog once your pet gets to 3 months of age, it is expedient that you visit the veterinary clinic or the veterinary hospital so that you get your pet vaccinated. You would be issued a green book called the Green Pet Book.
Okay.
Yes, you'll be issued a green pet book whereby there would be a record of the vaccination history on that particular book, so that in case your dog gets to bite an individual and all that, and then it results in maybe a severe case, you can actually tender that book to show proof of vaccination.
Okay.
So it saves both you and then the individual as well. So now, even for humans, there is a vaccination regimen. Now, mind you, when the dog gets infected with rabies, there is no vaccination. The end result is to kill immediately once that animal comes down with rabies. But for humans, once a human being gets bitten by a rabid dog, there is what we call post-exposure prophylaxis.
Okay.
That means that particular site of injury will be washed thoroughly for 15 minutes, like I said, with soap and water. And then the person will receive about 5 shots of vaccines. Yes.
All at once?
No, not all at once, at different intervals.
Okay.
Yes, the person will receive 5 shots of vaccines at day 0, at day 3, day 7, day 14, and day 28.
Okay.
It has to be complete. Once it has been confirmed this animal is rabid, the person needs to take that particular regimen of vaccination.
Okay.
So even before the onset or before that particular person gets bitten by a rabid dog, it is advisable that healthcare workers who work maybe in laboratories or like vet doctors as myself, it is expedient that they should get themselves vaccinated annually. They should receive vaccinations to prevent, because they are at high risk of being infected with rabies because they come in contact with these animals.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is vaccination before exposure to rabies, and there is also vaccination after exposure to rabies.
Okay, so even this applies to pet owners as well.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask a question. For someone who, for instance, the example of that young man I gave who, kept on backing until I left higher institution, he lived with that condition. I don't even know if he's still alive. However, I want to find out, for someone like that, if he gets to bite another human, can it also transmit rabies?
Okay, theoretically, it is possible. Because the virus is resident in the saliva.
Okay.
Yes, so theoretically it is possible, but then there have been no record of any case of transmission of rabies, no documented case of transmission of rabies from one human to the other.
Another. Because I hear people say all the time, don't allow this person beat you, go and take injection. Some people will tell you, oh, the moment you're bitten by a dog, go and take tetanus injection. Does that even work?
Yeah, it is also part of the protocol we engage in. It is advisable to actually take anti-tetanus because this is a wound site, and then tetanus it occurs via the invasion of microbes, a microbe called Clostridium tetani. So once it invades that particular wound site, then the person can come down with tetanus. And this bacteria can be found anywhere around the environment. Yes, so it is expedient that once you get an injury, maybe via a rusted metal or any form of injury as such, it is advisable to actually take anti-tetanus injection.
Okay. I know that the phone lines are beeping. I'm so sorry, everyone, but let me quickly go to Facebook. Prince Tochinat Ukebu says, I'm texting from Obako. Excellent morning to you, Mary, and our health lecturer. Our health lecturer on Echo FM. You're an ideal woman. Thank you so much. May this October remain good. Amen. I commend Dr. Godrain for his kind gesture. My question is, how many hours can rabies virus infection spring up on an individual after dog bites? Okay, Dr. Godrain has mentioned. Maybe you can quickly comment. How many hours?
Okay, okay. It's actually a range it ranges from about weeks to months, from 2 weeks to up to 3 months. But then, like I said earlier, it depends on the site of bite, and it also depends on the viral load. So there is an incubation phase. That is the phase, the time from infection, that is when the virus gets into the system, and then the time when the symptoms begin to show. So
Okay.
it can also range, it can also, signs can also begin to show from about a year, even after a year after being bitten, or 2 years after being bitten by a rabid dog. So it is
Wow.
not consistent. It is just expedient that when an individual gets bitten by a dog, ensure you get in touch with the owner, check the pet's book.
Okay.
Check the pet's book to be sure that this animal is vaccinated, and then follow the due process of
Okay,
post exposure
this
prophylaxis.
is only for people in urban areas. Like I said, if you go to rural communities, dog yakpata like this, no, nothing like vaccination. They don't even know what it is. Okay,
Exactly.
Sonny Barry says, "Good morning, the Slim Diva and our guest. I greet you. Truly, knowledge is power. I want to appreciate you for this information. Please, I want to ask if there is any awareness campaign against this virus, because there are so many dogs on the streets unvaccinated, which is dangerous to humans. Well, if there are campaigns, I wouldn't know, but what I'm doing right now is part of the awareness campaign. So I want you to take the word, or take whatever we've said today, to your family members, your neighbors, especially people you know that have dogs. Thank you so much. Onyeka Onyewegu says, "Good morning to you, the most adorable. Thank you for letting us know all these things. Thank you for listening as well." Logistic says, "Greetings in the studio. I can see that the doctor is from my state." Okay, keep up the good work. You've seen your brother. Thank you so much, Logie. David Sunday Akman says, "I am Engineer Darlington. Keep it on. I just want to appreciate you." Thank you, Engineer Darlington. I appreciate you right back. Ekemini Inse says, "Good morning, the Slim Diva, the most adorable. I'm learning a lot from this topic. God bless the management of Echo FM. My name is Ekemini Inse Douglas." Okay, thank you for your messages. All right, let's go quickly to prevention. I know you've talked about vaccination. I want to find out if there are normal medications that can be taken as well.
Okay, basically, there are no medications that has been approved that can be taken to actually curb this particular disease condition. And so the only regimen to take is the site should be treated properly, should be disinfected adequately, and then that particular individual should be vaccinated.
Okay.
There is no known medication. Now, for humans whom probably clinical signs are showing already, there have been cases whereby these clinical signs will be managed symptomatically, but it does not mean that particular virus will be eliminated from the system.
Okay, all right.
Yes, and then that is also the reason, because of this particular state, we carry out a campaign. Somebody asked initially if there are campaigns being carried out. There's actually a World Rabies Day every 28th of September every year. There is a campaign, and then there is a vaccination we normally do every year.
Okay.
So yes, as of this past few days, September 28th and 29th precisely, we were able to carry out a vaccination campaign whereby over 800 dogs were vaccinated. Dogs that had not been vaccinated before in Jos.
Okay.
Yes, and then this campaign is also ongoing in other states as well.
Well, okay, I'll maybe try as much as I can to reach out to those in charge of veterinary services in Imo to find out if this actually happened, because I did not see any sign. I'm not going to lie. All right, let's squeeze in one more call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Name and location quickly. You have few seconds, please.
Okay, it's Victor calling from Alva, and I want to ask two questions. Okay, one question I want to ask is, there are some people who believe that if they eat dog, if another dog eat them, that dog will be barking. showing that they eat a dog. Then the other question I want to ask is a dog, if someone eats dog, people believe that the person will be having sex too much.
Oh.
So that's my question.
Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I heard you clearly. Hey, Chim, there's nothing I will not hear. African, so which one is if someone eats dog too much, he would engage in sexual intercourse too much? Dr. Godwin,
Yeah,
is
well,
that
that is
true?
not that's not scientific,
Ah.
so it's not
Hey,
true.
okay. Let me squeeze in one last call. Name and location quickly.
Yeah, Cindy, but I'm not taking your time. So, is there anything? Is it healthy to eat for those that eat dogs? Is it healthy to eat, cook and eat a rabid dog? It's Jack again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Sounding like Coach Mike. I appreciate you. Is it healthy to eat a rabid dog? I want to ask Dr. Godwin.
It is not healthy to eat a rabid dog.
Okay.
Once the animal is confirmed to be rabid, it is supposed to be killed and disposed of completely.
Oh.
It is not advisable to eat a rabid dog.
Okay, Makandi 404. You want to go and enjoy with, now, you want to eat pepper soup, dog meat. Please, find out. Unfortunately, you might not know if it's rabid or not. But, well, let us take the necessary precautions. Last call for today, and then we call it a day. On Facebook, Uzuechi Buchiken says, well done, the Slim Diva. I always enjoy your program. Echo FM to the world. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Gilead Abu says, dogs vaccinated. Okay, can it be taken as pepper soup? No, never. All right, last call. Good morning to you.
Good morning,
Quickly.
Mrs. Mary Wude Omeni, the
Hi.
Slim Diva.
How are you doing? Quickly, please.
I'm fine. J10 from Wedram. First
All
time
right.
calling on this particular show.
You are welcome. You have few seconds, unfortunately.
Okay, I want to ask, those who eat dog meat and those who eat goat meat, now, what if someone doesn't know that these two animals have contacted with this rabies and disease? So those who eat this meat, will they be contacted with these sicknesses as well? Thank you and God
Okay,
bless.
thank you so much. And Dr. Godwin, that's all I'll be taking on the calls. We have barely 2 minutes to go. So I want you to please comment on the last one and then go ahead quickly and give me your parting words. For people who do not know and they go ahead to eat a dog and a goat that has been infected with rabies, will it also affect them? And then parting words as fast as you can, please.
Okay. Well, like I said, it is not advisable to consume it because via the process of processing these particular animals, you could get an injury, you could get a cut, and then you can be infected with rabies.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Parting
you
words.
can be infected with rabies. And so thank you very much for this opportunity to share. I would like to tell everyone listening, it is important to vaccinate your pets. It cannot be overemphasized. It will save you, it will save your family, and then it will save you from costs. Or maybe court cases and all that. And so also there is a One Health approach whereby all medical practitioners and other and also members of other fields come together, collaborate together to address issues like this.
Okay.
And so the World Health Organization is also fronting such protocol so that we can all work together and then we can report cases more effectively and then reduce the incidence of not just rabies alone, but also zoonotic diseases.
Thank you, Dr. Godwin. Quickly, I forgot to ask, can these vaccines be gotten in the normal hospitals or they would have to go to a veterinary clinic? Quickly.
Yeah, they can be gotten in from the normal hospital. So once a condition like that happens, you visit the veterinary clinic with the proof of vaccination. The vet will ask certain questions to ascertain if that particular animal is infected with rabies, and then a referral will be given to you so that you would visit a hospital,
a veterinary clinic.
Yes.
I know you like to talk. Thank you, Dr. Godwin. And like I said, if you want to chase me from your house, in fact, just go and mount dogs. You will never see my back. Thank you so much. It's always a delight having this conversation with you. We wish you the best going forward.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have to go. And to everyone that listened, to those who sent in messages, I appreciate you as always. We'll make a return tomorrow. No, tomorrow is going to be She Matters. The women will storm the studio. But for now, it's time for the news. My name is Mary Omeni Wode. You can call me the Slim Diva. You're most adorable. And bye-bye.
This week to help those in need.
If you know that it's God Almighty that created you and created we Nigerians like you need to do good things for us because the masses are suffering. How you can suspend me here? Are we your slaves?
And I'm going to win this election.
That is the truth.
Stay informed with Echo FM 100.7. Join us for exclusive interviews with experts, breaking updates on local and global events, and in-depth coverage of issues impacting our community. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. for our major news bulletin in English, Igbo,
Country people, this not story time. On top Echo
and Pidgin language. For more inquiries, you can reach us through our email, echofm@thekingmail.com. You can follow us on our social media handles at Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. We are the Fresh News People. It's the news at noon on Echo FM 100.7. It's the news at noon.
Good afternoon. This is the Global News at Noon right here on Echo FM 100.7. My name is Mary Omeni Wode, bringing you the latest news and breaking stories around the world this afternoon. Here are the headlines. President Tinubu hails army victories. Peace returns to troubled areas. Doctors raise the alarm as Nigeria faces worst doctor-patient ratio. NNPCL reports billions lost to 3 days Pengassan strike. On the foreign scene, Trump signs order to defend Qatar after Israeli strike. And South Korea clamps down on hate speech against Chinese tourists. We'll bring you details after this timeout. Stay tuned. Of course, we start off with national stories that says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reassured Nigerians that the armed forces, in collaboration with other security agencies, are recording significant victories against terrorism, banditry, and violent crimes nationwide. He noted that their operations have restored peace in many previously troubled communities. The president revealed that displaced residents in parts of the northeast and northwest are now returning to their homes thanks to sacrifices made by soldiers on the front lines. He described their efforts as crucial in rebuilding national unity and confidence. President Tinubu emphasized that Nigeria's current economic reforms and stability are built on these security gains, which he described as laying a foundation cast in concrete, not on quicksand. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, has condemned the worsening doctor-to-patient ratio in the country, disclosing that one doctor now attends to over 9,000 Nigerians. The association said this is far below the World Health Organization's recommendation. According to the Health Minister, Mohammed Pate, more than 16,000 doctors have left Nigeria in recent years for better opportunities abroad. This trend has left hospitals overstretched and the remaining doctors struggle with overwhelming workloads. NAD has demanded urgent government intervention, including a one-to-one replacement policy for existing doctors and regulations to limit excessive call hours that endanger both medical staff and patients. And over to Rivers, where Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has dissolved his cabinet and dismissed all commissioners and political appointees with immediate effect. The move, announced in Port Harcourt, followed the recent Supreme Court ruling that reshaped the state's political dynamics. The governor, at a valedictory cabinet session marking Nigeria's 65th independence, expressed gratitude to his former aides for their contributions to Rivers' development over the past 2 years. He praised their loyalty and service during challenging times. Fubara promised to lead with renewed vigor, assuring people of Rivers that the decision will strengthen governance while also wishing Nigerians a peaceful independence celebration. And news reaching us says doctors at the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology Teaching Hospital in Ogbomoso, Oyo State, have suspended their indefinite strike after 2 months of industrial action. The suspension followed assurances given by Governor Seyi Makinde during his visit to the hospital. The doctors announced that full clinical services will resume on October 2, but maintained that government must remain committed to addressing welfare issues, poor working conditions, and lack of medical equipment that triggered the strike. During the 2-month shutdown, patients in Ogbomoso and nearby communities, faced severe hardship as they were forced to seek medical services elsewhere, leaving many vulnerable without access to affordable health care. And to the northern part of the country, troops of the 6th Brigade of the Nigerian Army have foiled a planned terrorist attack in Taraba State, killing 2 suspected militants in a swift operation. The mission was carried out under the ongoing Operation Wellstroke. The acting Army spokesperson, Lieutenant Umar Mohammed, said the successful operation reassures residents of the Army's determination to rid the state of criminal activities. He added that troops have been directed to sustain momentum in keeping communities safe. The Army called on the public to provide credible intelligence to aid ongoing operations, particularly in rural areas where terrorists attempt to regroup. It's exactly 7 minutes past noon. If you just joined us, you are listening to the Global News right here on Echo FM 100.7. Let's take a look at the headlines once again. President Tinubu hails Army victories. Peace returns to troubled areas. Doctors raise the alarm as Nigeria faces worst doctor-patient ratio. NNPCL reports billions lost to 3-day Pengassan strike. On the foreign scene still to come, Trump signs order to defend Qatar after Israeli strike. And South Korea clamps down on hate speech against Chinese tourists. We'll bring you more details after this break. Stay tuned.
Can I get your attention, please? This is an important health advisory. Diphtheria outbreak has been reported in some states in Nigeria, including Imo. It is essential to take immediate action to prevent its spread. Diphtheria is a highly contagious bacterial infection that can cause severe respiratory problems, heart damage, and even death. It can spread from person to person when an infected person coughs or sneezes. While some people may not develop the disease manifestations, they can still transmit the bacteria to others. Diphtheria can affect anyone, but it is most common in unvaccinated children. Symptoms of diphtheria include sore throat, fever, swollen neck glands, and weakness. These symptoms usually begin 2 to 5 days after exposure to the bacteria. For prevention, seek medical attention immediately. If already infected, stay isolated. Practice good hygiene, avoid close contact with anyone who has the infection, and lastly, consult your healthcare provider or visit a nearby clinic to get vaccinated against diphtheria. Stay safe, stay healthy. This message is brought to you by Echo FM 100.7 as part of our corporate social responsibility. Thank you for listening.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, this is still the Global News right here on Echo FM 100.7. Over now to the rest of the news. And in business news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, says the country lost billions due to the 3-day strike by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSAN. The strike disrupted oil and gas operations across the country. The GCEO Bashar Ojulari said the shutdown caused a 16% drop in oil production and a 30% fall in marketed gas. He noted that power supply also declined by 20%, worsening hardships for homes and industries. The industrial action linked to disputes with the Dangote refinery led to the suspension of major operations at oil terminals and gas plants. The strike has now been called off after government's intervention. Over now to the foreign scene, where U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order pledging to defend Qatar, including possible military action after Israel's strike on the Gulf states. The order, released by the White House, calls any attack on Qatar a threat to U.S. security and promises all lawful measures to protect it. The move followed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to Washington, where he apologized for the strike that killed 6 people. Trump also spoke with Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani about efforts to reach a Gaza ceasefire. Doha hailed the pledge as a step to strengthen defense ties. Meanwhile, critics, however, questioned its legality and weight, noting it bypasses Senate approval. The decision comes as Gulf states reassess security alliances, with Saudi Arabia recently signing a defense pact with Pakistan. And still on the foreign scene, South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung has ordered a clampdown on hate speech against foreign tourists, particularly Chinese nationals. His directive follows a surge in anti-China protests in Seoul's major tourist areas. Lee said the rallies damaged South Korea's international image and economic interest, especially as government has launched a visa-free entry into the country for Chinese tourists until June 2026. He stressed the program's importance in boosting local commerce. The Chinese embassy had earlier issued a travel advisory urging its citizens to avoid protest hotspots such as Myeong and Darimdong, which host large tourist activities. And in the world of sports, this afternoon, Super Falcons star Asisat Oshoala has been named the Saudi Women's Premier League Player of the Month for September after a blistering start with Al Hilal Women. She scored 3 goals and provided 2 assists in just 3 matches, helping her team maintain a perfect record. Oshoala's arrival has been central to Al Hilal's dominance, with the club netting 10 goals in 3 games and sweeping major monthly awards. Her individual brilliance comes as no surprise given her successful stints with Arsenal, Barcelona, and her record as the first African woman to score and win in a UEFA Women's Champions League final. The Nigerian striker, already decorated with national and international honors, continues to break barriers in women's football. As Al Hilal prepares to face Al Ittihad next, Oshoala is expected to extend her dazzling form and reinforce her status as one of the world's most feared forwards. And that's all for the global news at noon this afternoon. This was edited by Benjamin Joseph. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms on Facebook at Echo FM, X at Echo FM_Owerri, Instagram at Echo FM 100.7, and YouTube at Echo FM 100.7. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by clicking on www.echofm.net. That is www.echofm.net. My name is Mary Omeni Wode. Thank you so much for listening. It's going to be more entertaining tunes with DJ Mars. Don't go anywhere. Stick to the dial, and thank you. Good afternoon.
Sweet music only on your 100.7.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
Look at
Echo FM 100.